Hey, and welcome to your reading for the month of March 2025. So, coming into autumn here on the southern hemisphere and going into spring on the northern. So, a time of flux coming in. Just going to do a horseshoe reading, which will be a general reading, and we'll see what comes up for you. So, already there's a Page of Cups, which is a theme of self-love and really putting your own experience and your own dreams as a forefront at this time. And often that can be pushed on the side because of obviously our commitments and things like that, but also we just forget. We've kind of got a blind spot to ourselves a lot of the times. So this figure here with the Page of Cups is showing that this is something you've been working on in the past and you're bringing this forward into the present. And what we've got in the present is the Devil. So a lot of people get shocked. This card, it's a pretty intense figure. Ultimately, the Devil is when we basically fall into a subconscious pattern that makes us believe that this is the only way forward. So what that means is there's like a narrowing that happens. And we feel like this is the only way out or this is the only way through. This can obviously mean addictions as well, because that's often something we do to try and give ourselves a sense of movement or help us feel better. And so the Devil's a reminder that we actually don't have to keep going in that loop. And there's other ways to self-soothe. There's other ways to feel like we're moving forward in our lives. So in combination with where you're coming from, there's a strong energy here of needing to really value your heart and value your own dreams moving forward, and to really make sure that you're not falling into a sense of this is the only way. And it's usually with the Devil a sense of limitation or feeling bound by circumstances, particularly in the 3D sort of space. So that could be money, it could be job commitment that you hate. It could be certain relationships in your life where you feel like that bond is actually something that's creating entrapment. So it's about looking at, hey, is this actually really the only way? Or is there a way that you can unhook yourself or unpick yourself or unlock yourself from this circumstance? And usually that takes moving through vulnerability and moving into a space of newness. And that newness can be scary. So often we sometimes self-sabotage or keep ourselves in this space of being bound because it's actually familiar. So the Devil in this figure isn't actually keeping these people prisoner. They're there dancing on their own accord. He's just like witnessing and watching it, maybe getting some entertainment out of it, but they can actually leave whenever they choose. Coming up, there's a sense of needing to get focused, which is symbolized by the bird here. Get focused on what you are wanting to bring to the world, your skills and talents, and to let yourself sort of marinate in the abundance of what's actually around you as well. So the Nine of Pentacles is a card of asking in your environment as sort of a fuel to help you continue to move forward in a disciplined and focused way. It's a really beautiful card. I love it. Every time I see it, it just reminds me to actually like look at what I already have, look at what I already have created, and to let that fill my cup up, and to also inspire me to continue to build that abundance in a disciplined and focused way. It can be a card of solitude and doing things, that you need to do solo. And obviously there needs to be a lot of teamwork in this world. And I think the universe is pushing people into looking outside of their sphere, but also there needs to be a component of that, which is focusing on, hey, what can you actually do to feel like you're moving forward in an abundant way? And it's usually unlocking some kind of skill or talent to be of service to others, because that's usually how we create like a beautiful kind of flow on. In the best course of action, you've got the Knight of Cups. So this card is similar to the Page of Cups, but it's adding a little bit more of that forward movement energy. So the Knight of Cups is the artist, the poet within all of us, the lover, the dreamer. So it's about embodying that energy And more than ever, we need to do that because there's, a lot of flux and chaos in the world. And yet we still have the task before us, which is to unlock our own gifts and talents and to enjoy life as well. So this is a figure that really knows how to grab the tiger by the tail and really move forward in a sense of wanderlust and hope. And I guess it's about not being too dreamy, so that you do something and it doesn't work initially and then it kind of crushes your expectations. So there needs to be, I think, in combination with the Nine of Pentacles and a realistic and planned energy to sort of balance that out. Or else that'll become a self-sabotaging thing of like, oh, this always happens to me. But really that might be just moving too much into that emotional space and then getting disappointed because something hasn't really been thought out properly. Your environment at the moment is showing that there needs to be some strong boundaries put in place. So as you can see, this figure, it's kind of like the wounded warrior, and it's the final legs of his journey. And there's a sort of Aura of the Wands in the background that's created like a firm wall. So it's about getting to that point of not necessarily exhaustion, but just wisdom through hardship, where you really get to go, hey, like, what energy am I letting into my sphere, and what energy am I letting leak out of my sphere that I want to retain? So it's sort of coming back into that space of hard-earned wisdom, hard-earned experience, and there might be a bit of burnout there as well, or at least because it's early on in the year, like a sense of like, oh, here I go again into that same burnout spiral, except this time there's going to be a difference. You're going to make a difference. You're going to balance your energy better. You're going to set boundaries to help that occur and to enforce that. Boundaries, I think people often think of them as between you and other, but I've been finding lately having good boundaries within myself. So making sure I don't overwork, I don't overextend, I don't overgive. So having those personal boundaries for you is actually more vital. I think they can be part of that blind spot thing and that thing of not putting yourself first sometimes as well. The challenge or the obstacle at the moment, we've got the Hermit. So this card can be one of solitude and going inward. And the challenge might be to go inward to find your own wisdom and your own answers at this point. But the other flip side of the Hermit is then coming out with your knowledge gained and your wisdom gained and sharing that light with the world. So it's got that kind of dual inward energy, but also the shining and bringing the light out as well. So you might be on end of the spectrum, you might need to go inward more at this time and to shield yourself and to find that solace. On another level, it might be actually time to get out there into the world more and to share your energy and just share who you are now. Plain and simple. Doesn't have to be anything in particular, but maybe just stepping back into life in a stronger way. A bit sweaty, it's hot here. And we've got the outcome here. We've got the Three of Swords. So interesting card to end on. It's one of really making sure to take these swords out of your heart. So there might have been a setback. There might have been something that's happened to kickstart your year that has ended in some sorrow or disappointment or just not feeling good enough or that life's worth trusting. But there might be a story running with that that's actually doing you damage. So there's the actual somatic body experience of what happened. And yes, give that space, be in that, share that with others, heal, move through that. But then there might be another part of you that is just on repeat, and it might be linked to the Devil card here. So the story might be something that actually when you entertain it for long enough, your energy drops and you just feel stuck in that sorrow. So this card is about removing those swords so that can let the blood flow and then finally let the repair happen and the healing happen. So the swords are symbolizing a story, a cognition, a concept, a narrative. And you need to look at, hey, is this narrative serving me? Or is it something I'm ready to release because it's actually keeping me sort of in a state of pain, more or less. Okay, beautiful. I'm just going to do 2 more from the outcome. Okay. Well, very similar looking. So we've got the High Priestess and the Star. This is a gorgeous card to have in there. That immediately wipes away any negativity and imbues this reading with a sense of hope, and that healing is absolutely possible and transformation will happen. The High Priestess is a bit of an ambiguous card. She sort of flits between the conscious and subconscious realms. Being a priestess, priest means bridge. So she's a bridge between worlds. And what that can mean on a personal level is that she essentially is an energy force that sits in the void, in the subconscious. And we get glimmers of that when we're in a more sort of quiet, still, tuned in space. And also, of course, through dreams, when we're in REM sleep as well. So this would be saying to heal, to move through what you're going through at the moment, you need to find those moments of solitude, sort of linking with the hermit there. But what I find with the High Priestess is sometimes just sitting in that stillness isn't enough. You actually need to engage with her. And you can do that by asking questions and asking for answers in your dreams, or just for a request that your subconscious finds resolution for you. So the beautiful thing a lot of people don't know about their subconscious is it's always working to resolve any kind of layers in your life or emotions that aren't in alignment. So it's always working to bring things into alignment. And that's one of the main functions of dreams, I believe, is to help bring things back into balance and alignment. So in order to engage with her, you can put your trust in that. And that's happening all the time. The dreaming is happening all the time, even when we're awake. But you can actually use your consciousness and your will to engage with the High Priestess a little bit more. So make some requests before you go to bed. Ask for healing, ask for guidance, ask for insight. And they will come in moments when you least expect it, when you're in the shower, when you're going for a walk, when you're driving, or you might just wake up from a dream and something's shifted, something's different. Okay, so it would be a subtle but deep transformation. And having the Star after that shows there's a real beautiful healing that's ready to happen. You need to let it happen by taking those swords out of the Three of Swords and taking those swords out of your heart. Okay, beautiful reading. I love this. And yeah, if this resonated for you, please let me know in the comments below. Hit subscribe if you want to check out my next reading. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, then follow the link in the description. Thanks so much, and wishing you a great month.